What's up, guys? How's it going? So, for this video, I want to kind of narrow down my focus for you guys going into the weekend. I am recording this on a Friday, so it's right before my weekend starts as well. Going over losing weight and actually having a social life and being able to manage the weekends. Now, a lot of the times, what happens on the weekend is it's either a mix of social things going on or just the lack of routine from the week. When we're during the week, we're working, we got schedules to keep, so we're able to kind of plan our meals and plan out the day because we're in the the hamster wheel of planning and sticking to a schedule, so it's easier to fit things in. On the weekend, it's weird because we have more freedom. So you would think that more freedom allows for more time to prepare, more time to work out, more time to plan out our meals. But people lean into the freedom and kind of just let the day get away from them. And then maybe they have dinners out with friends or they have parties that they're going to, and they don't know how to manage this. And this can be the make or break for a lot of people when it comes to losing weight. Coming to the weekend, being quote unquote good all week long, and then blowing it on the weekend. And I know that in our brains, we can kind of convince ourselves that if we're on point 5 days a week, but off 2 days a week, just the ratio of that 5 to 2, I should still be seeing results. There's a difference between being lenient and flexible and being off track. And what happens for a lot of people is they don't know the difference. So what happens is as soon as they go off track in their mind, they're already off track. They're already off plan. So why get back on plan? I'll just start again Monday. If you can really understand the principles of flexible eating and flexible dieting, you'll understand that there is no on and off track. It's just a matter of choices and setting up our choices to be in line with our goals most of the time and not qualifying foods as good or bad or behavior as good or bad, just focusing on overall choices and managing our calories and our protein. So this is going to focus on how to prep yourself for the weekends, a lot of mindset stuff on what to be thinking about going into the weekend and thinking about when you're, having a social life and stuff like that. So if you like this little GIF here, I forget what movie that's from. I think it's from Clueless, but I could be wrong. But losing weight and having a social life, most people just think if I'm trying to lose weight, there goes my social life. I'm not going to be able to, do anything. I have to be super, super strict. And this sets us up for frustration. This sets us up for failure. And what this is actually is your subconscious brain is what you're doing is you're giving yourself a reason to fail. And that is a huge hurdle that I'm trying to get over with you guys. And I want you to get past is to stop setting yourself up for failure by making weight loss harder or more complicated than it needs to be. Because the fact is, you know that you don't have to be strict all the time to lose weight, but you've convinced yourself that you have to be strict all the time to lose weight because it gives you a reason to quit when life gets in the way. Remember, we're trying to create lifestyle habits, and a huge part of lifestyle habits is navigating around real life. So I'll give you an example of my weekend. So last weekend, my wife and I went out to dinner on Saturday night, ate an untracked meal, burger, fries, appetizers, had a couple of drinks. And then Sunday night, we had sushi actually, and I had, a glass of wine with that, and I had a cookie. And I still am on track with my goals. I still lost weight this week. I was not off track. I did not starve myself on Monday. I did not carbs on Monday. I didn't do any extra cardio or anything like that this week. So how is that possible? What I did is I stuck to some daily non-negotiables over the weekend, and this is what I do every weekend. I eat protein with breakfast. I eat protein with lunch. I eat a protein snack prior to going to dinner. This way I'm not going into it starving. I make sure that my calories are at least in line the rest of the week and that day to give myself more flexibility at night. So it's all about picking and choosing your spots and determining how you want to set this up. And there's a few ways to do this. I'm going to go through this with you guys. So that's my example for last weekend. Sushi, cheeseburger, fries, beer, wine, both days, Saturday and Sunday, but still lost weight this week, still got leaner this week because I'm on track and flexible all of the time, and I don't qualify foods as good or bad. So these are a few questions that you have to ask yourself when you are trying to lose weight. So first, and when it comes in terms to your social life and your weekends, first thing you want to ask is you want to identify your social event frequency. So Are you someone who goes out to dinner multiple times per week? Are you someone who eats out, 3 to 5 times per week or more? Do you have like parties all the time? Do you have a lot of work events that you go to? Or is it something that you just do once or twice a week? Or is it something that you only do like once or twice a month? Or are you like me? Are you a hermit and you don't really have much of a social life? I pretty much just hang out with my wife and my son. That's the big extent of my social life. So what you have to do is first identify your social event frequency. Is this something you're doing all the time? Is it infrequent? And this is very important because it's going to determine how flexible you can be. If you are eating out and going to social events and going to parties multiple times per week, 3 to 5 times per week, awesome, more power to you. I'm jealous they have such a social life, but it's just you're gonna have to be a little bit less flexible with your behavior. Not every event, not everything that you go to has to be the most fun thing you've ever done in your life, food and drink wise. You're gonna have to pick and choose your spots a little bit more conservatively. If it's once a week, twice a week, you can be more lenient. If it's once or twice a month, you can be even more lenient. The less frequent these social events are, the more lenient you can be when you're going to them. So that's something you first have to identify. Where do I fall in that category? Am I a multiple time per week person, once a week, once a month? Where am I? And then that's going to kind of, dictate the rest of this. Next, you have to qualify special occasions. This is a huge one. Not everything that you do is a special occasion. You're convincing yourself these are special occasions because you just don't want to be the person who goes to a party and doesn't drink. But at the end of the day, do you want to be the person who goes to a party and drinks at every single one and doesn't stay on track at every single one and doesn't plan ahead at every single one and continue to be frustrated and continue to not lose the weight? Or do you want to sacrifice being the person who maybe only drinks once in a while at these things and you're going to see long-term results? Again, not saying that you have to cut out alcohol, but this example, your sister's best friend's boyfriend's brother's birthday party is not a special occasion. Special occasions are like your husband or wife's birthday party, your son or daughter's birthday, maybe they're graduating, holidays, things like that. If every single event you go to in your mind is a special occasion where you're like, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to navigate this, it's gonna make the whole process harder. It's gonna give you a reason to quit. Qualify things. Is this really a special occasion, or is it something that I'm kind of getting dragged to that I don't really want to go to? So do I really need to choose this as my spot where I'm going to just eat whatever I want and drink whatever I want? We also want to go to number 3 is define what is missing out. If you're there having fun, engaging with people you enjoy hanging out with, and you tasted the buffalo wing dip instead of having 4 servings of it, is that really missing out? We want to get out of this all or nothing mindset. People think that if they go to a party, they either have to eat all of the food or none of the food, and then they get confused, like, how do I navigate this? I'm going to a family dinner. There's going to be all this food that I like. How do I navigate this? The key is have some of it, but you don't need to have all of it. Pick and choose your spots. Have a realistic idea of what is missing out, what qualifies missing out to you. If you think missing out is not having everything that you've ever wanted, whenever you wanted, however much you want, then you are someone who has a distorted view of what missing out is. And that's just the hard truth. In life, as adults, we never have whatever we want, whenever we want, however much we want of anything. But for some reason with food, we believe we're entitled to just be able to do this and still lose weight. Again, self-limiting beliefs that we set for ourselves to give us a reason to quit when we're not seeing results. Realistic idea of results is super important too. If you are 70% consistent with your diet and your exercise, you'll get C- results, which is totally fine. You'll still get results. They'll just come at a little bit of a slower rate. Don't get discouraged if you don't have a 6-pack by May, but just be happy with the fact that you're able to live your life while losing weight. You're not training for Mr. Olympia. You can chill out a little bit. So what I mean by this is most people go into a diet thinking they have to be super, super strict because it gives them a reason to quit the first time they have a cookie. But if you understand that you can eat cookies and you can, track your calories, but maybe not track every day, if you stay consistent, meaning 5 out of 7 days, and on the other 2 days you're keeping things relatively in check, you will see results, even if you're not hitting your protein on Saturday, even if you're going over your calories on Saturday. The fact that you're trying will get you results. Now, there'll be a slightly slower pace than if you were 100% consistent. But the main thing you have to focus on is being 100% consistent will get you faster results, but you will be less likely to sustain them. So then the question becomes, are you trying to lose weight or are you trying to lose weight and keep it off? I would say 100% of people are trying to lose weight and keep it off. As much as you want to get fit into that dress for someone's wedding, you don't want to fit into the dress and then gain 20 pounds the next month, right? You want to be able to keep that weight off. So 70 to 80% consistency will get you that C to B minus result, but that's not failing. That's a very good result. It's just going to be slower over time. So if you're following me so far, just kind of wrap your mind around these things. Is this something that I'm doing? We also want to go into defining good time versus being greedy. This is a huge one too. So if you have Friday night dinner and drinks, Saturday morning brunch, Saturday night date night, and then Sunday morning donuts, and then it's the Sunday scary, so you have wine on Sunday night, it's not missing out to moderate that down. Now we're just getting greedy. And this is where people need to really take an objective look at their behavior. Are you someone who once Friday at 5 o'clock hits, you just put blinders on and it's Friday night dinner and drinks, brunch, date nights, donuts, Sunday scaries, wind down, football Sundays, beer and wings or pizza and wings, whatever it is. Like, are you that person? And if it is, you have to be realistic and go, is cutting this down a little bit going to be missing out, or am I just being greedy and thinking I can eat whatever, whenever, however much I want and still lose weight? So really, this is a key mindset shift that you have to make. Going to Friday night dinner and drinks and having 1 or 2 drinks and tracking your meal, this way you can have Saturday morning brunch and eat freely, and then Saturday night date night, make it more protein focused and limit the drinks, and then we skip the Sunday donuts and have a glass of wine on Sunday night. Like, is moderating it down to that really missing out? Are you ruining your life? Are you less happy because of that? No, if anything, you'll probably be more happy because you're not going to feel guilty on Monday. You're going to lose weight at a faster rate, and you're not going to feel like shit all weekend. Most people do behave in this way. They have physical symptoms, digestive discomfort, poor sleep, feeling like crap, guilt, and they still do it. And it's because it's this self-limiting behavior that you've convinced yourself that weekends need to be an all-out party the whole time. Now, again, you can still enjoy dinner and drinks and a social life while you're doing this. It just takes a little bit of forward thinking, and that's where we're going to get into next. So to really, that's like the mindset stuff, to really kind of have that rattling around your brain and really focus on that. Just think about this stuff and rewatch this video and make notes. Where do I fall on these categories? Am I being greedy? Do I really have a clear definition of what missing out is? Do I have a realistic idea of the results I want to get? If you're telling me you want to lose 5 pounds a week for 20 weeks, it's not going to happen. It's not healthy to do that. If you tell me I'm cool with losing half a pound to a pound a week, if it means I'm going to be able to enjoy the weekends and have a social life, then we're on the same page. But you're not going to be able to eat whatever you want, whenever you want, however much you want, and still see results. But you can eat whatever you want, whenever you want, and still see results. It just can't be however much you want. And that is the key point to really focus on. Whatever, whenever is fine. However much you want is the key that we need to take away, and we need to get away from that. So some actionable steps that you can do. So if you're watching this, you've already watched the video on how to find out your calorie goal, why you need to be in a calorie deficit, how to know your protein goal. You can implement things like calorie cycling into your life, into your week, to help make weekends a little bit more flexible so you can have more fun. So a calorie deficit, as we know, means you're eating less calories than you burn. This allows you to lose fat. You're eating enough protein too. That's key. You still have to hit your protein. So let's talk about this specific goal right here. 1,700 calories a day. Let's say your calorie goal is 1,700 calories a day, which again, remember, this is a range. 1,700 to 1,800 is your range. That's about 12,000 calories a week. If you eat 1,700 calories a day, a Sunday through Saturday, that's 11,900 calories for the week. Calorie cycling looks like the next one down. This means Sunday, we reduce calories. Monday, we slightly reduce calories. Tuesday, we reduce calories. Wednesday, Thursday, we have regular calories. And then Friday, Saturday, we allow ourselves a higher calorie day. The one caveat to all this is all 7 days, you still have to aim for your protein goal. So what this could look like for you personally, let's say this was your calorie goal. Let's say Sundays are kind of a lazy day. You don't work out. There's really not much going on. No one's really having parties on Sunday nights. So maybe that's more of a lower calorie day, which again, for most people is going to be easier to achieve because on a Sunday, we don't have a lot going on and maybe we're not as hungry. So we don't need to force feed ourselves, as many meals as we do on like a normal weekday. So what you're going to do on Sunday, no matter what happened on Saturday night, you're going to start your day with that 30 to 40 grams of protein for breakfast paired with a carb and a fat or a carb and a produce. And then you're going to have another 30, 40 grams with a carb and a produce at lunch. If you do those two things, I guarantee your Sunday night dinner will be more in check. So this is going to help you keep your Sunday night in check. Now, maybe Monday morning, or Mondays, it's easier for you to keep the calories a little bit lower. Again, just using this specific example. So Monday and Tuesdays, you're still going to work out. You're still going to hit your protein, but you're going to slightly reduce the calories a little bit because, we had a high calorie weekend. Then as we get to Wednesday, Thursday, you go back to your normal calories, still hitting your protein. And then Friday and Saturday, we have a higher calorie day. So what this is going to allow us to do is now we're getting 200 to 300 extra calories to spend on dinner out, on drinks, on appetizers, on snacks, on Friday and Saturday. So it allows us some slack at the end of the week. Now, this calorie cycling, you can choose whatever days you want to do this on. It doesn't have to be like this. For some people, like for me, I like to do low calorie day on Sunday. And I like to do low calorie days on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And then I keep like Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Monday and Tuesday like regular. And then Friday and Saturday, I allow myself like higher calorie days. There's no right and wrong way to do this. But my point for this is that keeping your calories in check throughout the week will help you allow higher calories on the weekends. But the key is, now I know what you're thinking, but Adam, I do that already. I eat good all week. I barely eat all week. And then on the weekends, I can't keep it together. How is this going to help me? The reason why is because I guarantee you, I would bet a month worth of income that you are chronically under eating protein. If you're eating enough protein all 7 days of the week, your Friday and Saturday night snacking binges will be in check. It'll be easier to keep a lower calorie day on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday because you're going to be more full from the protein. So this is something to think about. It's not just haphazardly and randomly eating more calories on the weekends. It's strategic. We're eating slightly less during the week, but we're eating a little bit more on the weekends, but we're keeping our protein where it needs to be, hitting that 30 to 40 grams every single meal. We want to make sure we're tracking ahead of time and getting back to normal at the next meal. This is key as well. On the weekends, if you're going out to dinner, look up menus ahead of time. Track the meal ahead of time, okay? So if I know I'm going out to sushi on a Saturday night, I want to just go, okay, these are the rolls I'm going to have. These are the drinks I'm going to have. I'm going to plug that into MyFitnessPal. Is it going to be 100% accurate? Probably not, but I'm going to plug it in anyway. And maybe I'm going to overestimate the calories a little bit. So now let's say that's going to be a 800 calorie meal and I have, 1,700 calories to spend. That means for the rest of the day, I'm only allotted 900 calories and I'm going to eat my protein. I'm going to hit my protein goal. If you do that, when you get to that sushi meal, not only are you going to enjoy it more because there's no guilt attached to it, but you're not going to have to worry about trying to fit it in because it's already been accounted for. And then the next morning when you wake up, that very next meal, you're right back to 30 to 40 grams of protein and tracking. This is so fucking important because most people will go way off on Saturday night and that next meal on Sunday, they either skip breakfast or there's like, oh, I'm already off track. I'm just going to have like French toast or something, whatever it is. They don't follow the protein rule and then they just continue on that path. The very next meal, you want to get right back to normal. 30 to 40 grams of protein paired with the carb and produce. If you're someone who you watch this whole video and I appreciate that and you're like, well, social life isn't my problem. It's just that I don't have a schedule. Like I don't really have anything to do on the weekends and I'm just kind of snacking all day. You got to follow the same rules. 30 to 40 grams of protein at breakfast, 30 to 40 grams of protein at lunch. It will change your life. You will be less likely to snack at night. You won't go into dinner starving. And it's not a schedule thing, guys. It's not because your schedule is too hectic. It's not because your schedule is too light. It's because you are choosing to not eat 30 to 40 grams of protein at each meal. That is the problem. So on a Saturday, when it's 12 o'clock and you're not feeling super hungry, you have to make the decision then to eat the 30 to 40 grams of protein anyway. Because we know from experience, from the last 5, 10, 15 years of doing this stuff, you know that if you skip that lunch, you skip that breakfast, the nighttime's gonna come, you're gonna be starving, and you're gonna eat tortilla chips and drink wine and snack, and then you turn into that pantry werewolf that we always talk about. 30 to 40 grams of protein at breakfast, 30 to 40 grams of protein at lunch, regardless if you're calorie cycling or not. Even if you're not tracking your calories, 30 to 40 grams of protein at breakfast, 30 to 40 grams of protein at lunch. You don't know what to eat for 30 to 40 grams of protein? That's what the protein chart is for. That's what the meal template is for, to help you build out these meals. So it takes the guesswork out of it. You get to Saturday, well, what do I eat for breakfast on a Saturday morning if I'm not that hungry? The same thing you eat during the week. Do it anyway. Go through that slight discomfort of, I'm not super hungry on Saturday morning. Eat it anyway, and I guarantee your night will be a lot better. We got to start implementing this stuff immediately and trying it out and seeing where it works. If you have questions, that's what I'm here for, and you want to know how to apply it individually to you, that's fine, and that's what I'm here for. But this is the stuff we need to implement. Identify your social frequency. Identify exactly what is missing out. Have a realistic idea of the results you want. Understand the difference between having a good time and being greedy. Not every single thing you go to needs to be the party of the century and you're eating and drinking whatever the hell you want. A little bit of planning ahead is key. We can calorie cycle throughout the week to allow us more calories on the weekend. We just got to still hit our protein, and we start every morning with that 30 to 40 grams of protein in that first meal, and it's going to set the tone for the rest of the day. This all comes down to choices. If you're not able to do this, it's not because you don't have the knowledge or the ability. It's because you're choosing not to, because I'm giving you the strategies right here to do. So if you don't do it, if you get to Saturday and you skip breakfast and you skip lunch, that is a choice. It's not your schedule. It's not your lack of schedule. It's not having food available. You can literally go to the grocery store on Saturday morning if you wanted to. It's choices. And once we can understand that we're responsible for our own choices, it takes back control and allows us to do this for a longer period of time. So my final note on this slightly longer video is, when you're actually consistent all year, you will realize how little these events actually matter for fat loss. You'll realize how little someone's birthday actually matters, because you will be setting basic habits in place. You're still in a diet mindset, okay? That's what needs improvement. You're looking at this as a diet. Don't look at it as a diet. It's just daily choices. Do I want to eat out on Friday night? Okay, cool. I'm going to moderate my calories throughout the rest of the day and hit my protein goal, so I'm not going into dinner as hungry, so I make better choices. These are simple switches we can make. We want to go out of the all or nothing mindset. The all or nothing mindset leads to more nothing than all. It's a self-limiting belief that we make up to justify doing nothing. Stress, schedule, different seasons, all these will always affect consistency and effort, but your stress will always be there. Your schedule will always be hectic, and the seasons will always be changing. Winter will come with holidays. Summer will come with barbecues. It's always going to happen. So you can choose to take control of that cycle, or you can choose to let the cycle control you. If you can't keep up 80% consistency, is 0% actually better? No. Lifestyle changes and habits are what matters. So if you give up whenever life happens, you will not see long-term results. So we got to learn how to navigate life. So I hope this is helpful. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I know this is a longer video, but there's a lot of stuff packed in here. This is a huge hurdle for most people. So I hope you took the time to watch it or to just listen to it podcast style. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I appreciate your time, and let's start implementing the stuff this weekend.